Houndstooth. Coffee. So cute. I think these will make good wristlets. All right, I've had a busy little spell. I was online this morning applying to a local farmer's market that I've been wanting to get into. So from Mother's Day Sunday, so I think it's May 12th-ish, until October 27th. So I did apply for every Sunday during the whole summer and fall. And then second choice is every other Sunday. So I'll see how that goes. That's going to be insane if I get into that. But in the meantime, I also messaged somebody else about a different little market before that, just get some information on that. So trying to get them lined up. Hello everyone, welcome to my Scrunchie garden. My name is Mary, and today I'm going to continue on with my market prep for my upcoming Valentine's Day market. And I'm going to be working on a series of little wristlets. In my previous video, I did market prep. I was making a bunch of twist headbands. I have a bunch of scrunchies ready to go, not only from the previous holiday season, but also from my Valentine's Day launch and my website launch. So I have a lot of scrunchies ready to go, but I think I have about a half a dozen of these wristlets, and that is it. So in today's vlog, I will be sewing up a bunch of these little wristlets. So I have headbands. I'm moving on. Those are done. I'm happy with those. So today, this is my sad little pickings of wristlets. So I am in serious need of wristlets. I have made up some. I was just playing with different interfacings, and they're all perfectly usable, but I decided that the softness and yet loftiness of this particular one is the winner. So I cut up, I had a great big sheet of this interfacing. It's actually like a bit of more of a knit than like a cotton woven. It feels more like a polyester knit. So I cut that into 4 by 12 inch strips, because that is also the size of the strips that I use for my wristlets, is 4 inches wide by 12 inches long. So I went ahead and I pre-cut all the fabric. I had a bunch that was pre-cut, because when I do a scrunchie, I like to just whip off an extra 4-inch strip so that I have some ready for scrunchies and bows. I also need to do up a few more bows. I have a fair amount, not tons, but I think enough. But I do want to get up some Valentine's Day. I had leftover fabric for my Valentine's scrunchie. So I want, well, not leftover, I reserved some for the bows. So I want to do that. But first things first, I am going to put my interfacing strips onto my fabric. I have two random little strips. These were actually somehow extra leftover straps from a bag. This was the other part of one. I didn't use up the whole strap, but I'm not making a bag in this fabric anymore, so it had like a thick woven interfacing, just 2 inches down the middle, which is another very viable option. I find all like the interface straight across with heavy woven cotton can be a bit hard and thick. So I tend to go with a half, like just 2 inches down the middle when I'm making straps for a bag, or even for the wristlets. That's a good one too. But for my online markets, although this is all I've got for these. I have no idea how many strips of everything I've got, but this is all I've got for this particular one. And then I do have more, but it's a slightly thicker interfacing. So I'll see how that one goes after I finish this. But yeah, so I have my heat press hot, and I am going to start, first of all, pressing them, because a lot of them do have creases where they were folded over. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna press and then fuse the interfacing. It's like fusible. So I'm gonna fuse that right on there as well. I like to just give this just a little bit of mist when pressing it. Just does a more thorough job. right, let's see if that's enough time there. I think so. We'll let those cool off. That's fused on there nicely though, so that'll do the trick. These are fabrics for my spring scrunchie launch, and while I'm not doing up any of those scrunchies right now, I will be doing them after Valentine's Day once I'm caught up on all the Valentine's Day stuff. But I did slice off enough of them just to get up a couple of scrunchie, or a couple of wristlets done for this Valentine's Day market on Saturday. So I absolutely wanted some of those. They're amazing. If I have time before Saturday to do up some more scrunchies in these spring colors, I absolutely will, but I don't think I have time. I have to make new signage for my pricing because my signs from last year were all with Totes by Design, and since this market I'm just doing my hair accessories under the logo, under the label of my Scrunchie Garden. I need new signage for that, so I have to do all my new signage. I have to make up some extra little hair bows. But if I get into a weekly farmer's market for spring and summer from May 10th, I'm just gonna have to go hard and just get scrunchies and hair, like everything, just sewn up so that I have tons of inventory, because while my website's live, I haven't had any sales on it yet. So I've launched it just middle of January. So I haven't had any sales on my website yet, but I have my inventory that I made for my website. And I mean, I'm going to use whatever inventory I have wherever it sells. I'm not going to like, nope, can't take that to the market because it's for my website. It's like, nope. If that's where it's going to sell, that's where it's going to go. I have more fabric, I can make more. But I want to have a good inventory on hand because as I work, I have a job, it really quite interferes with doing this. I do have real ironing boards, but this is my go-to because it's just, toss it back and forth. It's just a board covered with layers of cotton. This is sugar skull fabric. I know it's not really sugar skull season, if there is, if you would call it a season, but it's so pretty. The flowers are spring-like. I'm sneaking it into my spring line. But doing these 3 at a time, it's a lot faster than holding, move, hold. It's just, the heat press is such a time saver. I know there are ones that are more industrial, but you got the manpower you gotta use to clunk those closed. Okay. So last night I was cutting up about 10 different fabrics of my spring collection, and I really, while I was doing it, I just wanted to cut some for scrunchies so that they would be done, but right now I'm just on such a time crunch, it just wasn't an option. I've been looking for houndstooth, and I did find some black and gray, so I'm really happy with that. And this one's kind of houndstooth. It's just like almost kind of separated. So I took what was left on the bolt from this particular the fabric store I was at. But so I'm hoping that there's a couple of fabric lines in my area. I found my new favorite one in Duncan. It's got like a quilt shop attached, so they have an amazing selection of fabrics. And it's so neat and tidy. It's kind of boutique-y. I don't know. I love that store. Unfortunately, it's about a 45-minute drive for me, so I'm not going to go too often, but those weekends when, you want to go for a little drive, good place to go. So I'm thinking I'll be able to fit 3 per little stem. And some of these I've got 3 of, so I'll see. I have no idea how many I've got here, but I know I've got lots. So I'll see how many I can put out and without overwhelming the senses. Visual overload is real. Sometimes you get too much going on and people can't decide on anything. Which is one of the reasons I'm playing with the idea of separating my markets from my bags and my scrunchies, but if I get into the farmer's market, I did put down all my products because it's a 10 by 10 booth. So I'm hoping one of two things are going to happen. I can either alternate weekends with my scrunchies on, my hair accessories on one Sunday, the following Sunday do my bags, or if that's not a viable option, if I can just combine everything. I put my the hot strips, once they come off the heat press, I put them over here. Someplace, one of my cutting mats has a bubble from where I put something that was too hot. I think it was for my bags, but yeah, that was too hot. Houndstooth. Coffee. So cute. I think these will make good wristlets. Technically, and I might still use it, but I did get a couple of meters, but I bought this for like a little carrying bag, but right now I'm making these. And I had to do up some of the cherries that were part of my Valentine's Day launch. I just think those are so stinking cute. That'll be a good one, little wine theme. I will put key fobs up on my website as well. Not this particular one, because this was just remnants from a couple of bags I made, but yeah, the headbands and the wristlets, the pictures for those will get taken next week. I know I'll have stuff left over from my market because I made so much. It's kind of a fine line between all the things you got to do as a small business owner. Between especially when you're making the products, you got to promote the products and do the videos, the social media, the website. There's kind of a lot going on. But my happy place is like after work to just sit down at my sewing machine and just make some scrunchies or make some, just make the little things. Those things don't seem like work. I'm going to start picking through those now. I think when I'm done with these, that'll be enough. Make sure I have at least one of each out. I think I do. I already saw multiple wine ones go through, so those I'm going to skip. When I was cutting these out last night, I was trying to get roughly the same amount of interfacing. I had the interfacing cut first. So then I started cutting my strips of fabric, because I had a lot done, but the ones that I was just cutting last night. So I was trying to get about the same amount. I may have done pretty good. All right, so I was short a little bit of interfacing here. So some of these just got one each, but that's fine. There will be plenty here, so those will save for another day. That's going to make a nice little pile of wristlets, and I have a feeling my display will be filled up. And my poor little heat press gets to take a break. All right, now I will plug in my iron. Crank that bad boy on high. I feel like I'm not going to have enough clips to press them all at the same time, so I'm going to start with the ones where I can use black thread because that's what I have on my machine right now. I love that mod looking fabric. This had a bit of a texture on it before it went into the heat press, but that kind of got flattened out. See kind of like a little bit of a grid mark from where the texture was, but in theory I should have made sure I got at least 2 of each rather than doing 3 of these earlier ones, but I was more excited about the earlier ones, the new release ones. I think I can use black thread on that, that'd be cool. So the process for this, to press these in half, and then in half again. Each side gets folded into the center. And then that gets rolled over, folded over. Very often when you sew, when you top stitch, use a bigger stitch length. I find though I don't like to use a bigger stitch length than the 2.5 because this bends, and at that bend there's that extra tension, and smaller stitch lengths I just feel are a bit more secure there. Do you like how I reuse my containers that I get? What we do need to make sure of, these are the little end caps that clamp onto the end of the wristlets, key fobs, whatever you want to call them. So you do need to make sure that your little wristlet fabric isn't going to extend past edges. So that's perfect. Actually, I'm happy with that. So now I don't need these for a while because my measurements are good. I think I can just cruise. I do have my iron on the cotton setting, on the highest setting, especially because the inside layer is polyester, so it makes it a bit bouncy, unlike woven cotton interfacing where it like creases quite strongly. This tends to want to bounce back a little bit, so I do, and I'm just ironing on the cotton side, not on the polyester, so I do use a fairly strong, or fairly good heat. Although to be fair, my iron is not as hot as many. So take that with caution. All of my wristlets are now sewn together. I've got my little label sewn in. So now for the final part, I am going to affix the little keychain fob to the end with the little tool, but I'm also going to give it just a little dab of the E6000 glue just to help secure that in place. And attach this little guy to the wristlet. So to apply the hardware to the wristlet, I wish to have the teeth on the back side. I don't want that showing right by my label. That'll just make it busier. So I want that to be on the back side. And I don't want glue on the side with the teeth because it does come through those little holes in the back, and I want to avoid that messy glue coming out of there. So I am going to apply some glue to the front and the end of my wristlet using the E6000 in a well-ventilated area, of course. A little dab like that is plenty. Pretty thick stuff, so you do need to work it a little bit. That'll do. Now I have found the best way to apply the little hardware. Sometimes if you put it on there and then try to squeeze it, the little tool just kind of wants to like slide along there. So you want to really choke up on it, kind of like baseball, choke up on the bat. So you want to kind of like just really put that right inside of the little rubberized ends of your plier tool. And I'm putting my teeth at the bottom because I don't want that at the top. Pop that into the center, center it nicely. I will just turn this away so I can see what's happening. I don't have the finger strength to do any kind of squeezing on this manually, so I rely on my tool for the works. Give that a good press. There is the hardware attached, and with that glue you need to let it cure for a while. I think it says 24 hours for good solid curing on that, but that will prevent anything from sliding off. That's some pretty strong glue there. So that is the finished wristlet. Before I lose too much glue there, I will cap that. But definitely a good idea to keep your glue upright in a little, this is a votive holder. If you lay it on its side, it does just continually come out of the tube. So just, it might come out a little bit with upright, but it's much neater, much tidier all around. There is a good example. Nicely done. So that is all my wristlets made. I used the glue so it's nice and sturdy. Those aren't going anywhere. And I also did up some more bows. I probably did up about another 15, so I did still have quite a few, so I did up some more bows as well. The market is tomorrow, so this is it. I've got to wrap it up and get my stuff together. I still have to print off my signage for the market, and just going to get my fixtures together and stuff. So that's what's going to happen tonight. And then my market is at 11 o'clock tomorrow. So it's not a super early one. So that's nice. I get to, while I won't sleep in, I also won't have to rush. So I thank you so much for joining me for this market vlog, market prep. And yeah, I'm going to sign off now, but I will be back to see how my market went. And I'll share that with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I'd really appreciate it. Have a good day. Bye-bye.